Excuse me, sir, is this the Delta House?
Sure. Come on in.
They have cold beer and action on the game.
I'm shocked to find that gambling is going on in here.
It's time for the Degenerates Next Door.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Welcome to Overreaction Week in the college football world. My name is Jason Hammer. I do the Hammer and Nigel show afternoons on 93.1 WIBC in Indianapolis. Joining me, as always, a number one rated radio host in his own right. He is an elected official. He was a tax-cutting machine. Ladies and gentlemen, the leader on the scoreboard through 2 weeks of college football play, Rob Kendall.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's like the Pirates leading the Central Division in April. You know it won't last, but enjoy it while you see your name atop the board. Y'all can eat it.
You were a late touchdown from Notre Dame away from being perfect so far.
And this is crazy because, I'm Mr. Notre Dame, but I knew they were going to lose that game. You just get the feeling as a fan, like you know your team's going to lose. I was cheering against them scoring because I said, at least if they don't score, then I'll win my bet.
Because you had the under.
That's right. And I knew, and I was hoping maybe they go for 2. I could have got that too. But yeah, it was pretty much the worst of all worlds. Hammer will back me up. I did send the group text. Everybody said this is going to end as bad as it could for me. It'll hit the over, and Notre Dame's going to lose this game. And gosh darn it, it did. But, raise your hand if you said on this program last week, what if Arch Manning isn't any good?
Rob Kendall was bashing Arch before bashing Arch was cool.
Boy, he stinks, Will, didn't he?
I mean, it's one game against probably the best team in America, but he did not look very good.
Yeah, and it's very rare that you get an easy win, but that was an easy win taking that under. Texas thoroughly let you down. So 500 last week for me, 2-0 week 1, so 3-1 on the year.
So the Arch Manning thing, right? He was probably never as good as he was built up to be, but I think if there's ever a time to buy low, would it be now? Like, his Heisman's done. He's not winning that. But in terms of being a dude that can carry Texas back to the playoff and maybe win it, I mean, his first game was in the shoe against the best team in America, an NFL defensive coordinator who's used to preparing for dudes like Tom Brady. You didn't think he was going to shut down Arch Manning? And people forget, man, like if you want to go down the Manning lineage here, Peyton could never beat Florida. Peyton Manning was 0-for against the Gators. Sometimes in college, you just can't put it together. Does this mean Arch Manning stinks, though?
Peyton Manning didn't throw like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, though.
There was a few giddy-ups. Little hitches in that delivery that I noticed.
But to me, it was always ludicrous because it doesn't mean he might not be a good quarterback someday. But the guy hasn't really played in college. I mean, he's had a couple of spot starts and cleanup duty and whatever. But you're not playing against high school kids. This is maybe the best college football team on the planet. And, yeah, it's going to take you a while to figure out how to play.
Friend of our show, Ben Fawkes, sports gambling statistic machine, put something out on Twitter, and we retweeted it this past weekend, at Gambling Stuff. Make sure you follow us. Boy, the sports books, the house, made a killing this weekend.
Yep.
Next time you go out to Vegas, see if they've added another level to the MGM Grand. See if they've put another fountain inside the fountain at Bellagio, because the top 5 most bet games all went the way of the house this weekend.
Yep.
Texas, Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Indiana. Indiana was number 5 on most bet teams. None of them covered.
Yeah, look, Homer Simpson once said, everyone's stupid but me. And that's sort of like the way the house was this week. Everyone's stupid but me. And you and I've said this many times before. There's a reason those buildings are as big as they are, and there's a reason you live where you live.
Right. All right, so let's get into it here. Week 2, we call it Overreaction Week. This is where the public sees what happens in week 0 or week 1 and completely flips out, bets the family nest egg on what could have been a once-in-a-lifetime performance, and that changes the numbers a little bit. And I think you're starting to see that with this money movement in Michigan and Oklahoma. This is the game of the week. This is the game all of us, including our pro handicappers, are going to pick. Number 14, Michigan at number 18, Oklahoma. The spread is now 5.5. Sooners, 5.5 point home favorites. The over-under, pretty steady, 46.5. But Rob, again, we do this podcast now on Tuesday for college football. Please get into the habit of listening to this show on Tuesdays. But this line in the last 36 hours has gone from 2.5, and it's skyrocketed up to 5.5 now for the Sooners as home favorites.
The great Bobby Heenan, World Wrestling Entertainment Hall of Famer.
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Weasel.
Indiana's own Bobby Heenan once said, "Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat." And is there any better cheaters in college football than Michigan? How could you pick against a bunch of known cheaters, Hammer? I'm in on Michigan getting 5.5. I don't know about you. They may lose this game, but they know how to play ball. They know how to coach it, and if they don't know how to do it, they'll just cheat their way to it. I'm in on Michigan getting the 5.5.
Now, you know Harbaugh's not running out of that tunnel anymore.
But his understudy's there.
Connor Stallions is no longer on the staff anymore.
His understudy's there. They just picked the next cheater in line.
I'm with you on this one for different reasons. I'm with the points because I think this is just going to be a bunch of handoffs, 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of game, right? Michigan wants to run the ball, and I get they've got a freshman quarterback, and Oklahoma's a very daunting place to play. But I'm also old enough to remember Nico Iamaleava in Tennessee going to Oklahoma last year and beating the piss out of the Sooners, and Nico's not even that good.
Yeah.
So here comes Michigan. If Bryce Underwood can be a dual threat dude, they're going to win. If he's one-dimensional and has to throw, Oklahoma's going to win. But I got faith that Michigan can run the ball a little bit here. Oklahoma, they were outrushed last week by Illinois State. Now, granted, they're probably not showing a lot. Some of the guys on that offensive line sat out. But it doesn't matter. Third-string dudes at Oklahoma should be able to outrush Illinois State. It was 117-103 on the ground in favor of Illinois State last weekend. I'm not in love with Oklahoma's offensive line. I think Michigan's going to be able to move the ball on their defensive line. I don't know who wins, but I think it's close. I think it's a grind-out game. I would take a look at the under. But if it's up to 5.5, I want the points here. I don't think there's that much of a difference between these two. Give me the Wolverines and the points.
Yeah, I thought about doing a double shot on this one. You know how we hate the parlays, though, because I thought if Michigan's going to win, I think the over's at 46.5, right?
Right.
I thought, man, if Michigan's going to win this game, they're probably going to win it like, 21-20 or something like that. And I thought, boy, that'd be really poor, 24-23 or whatever, which that wouldn't get you an under. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. If Michigan's going to win, it's probably going to be a lower scoring affair. But we've seen these games turn wild before. There's block punts, there's interceptions, there's all sorts of stuff. Michigan, they just always seem to find a way. And again, I come back to the known cheating. They just seem to find a way to stay in these ball games. I can't, 5.5 is a lot of points.
And I can't let Venerable, a dude who's probably on the hot seat at Oklahoma, one of the guys that could be fired at the end of the year if things don't go well, I don't feel comfortable laying close to 6 with that dude. I just don't.
I also feel like if we did this show on Thursday, I'd get an extra point or two.
So keep an eye on where the money's moving. It's gone up 3 points in like 36 hours. But what does that really mean? Because the line for Texas did a complete 180, and Texas ran into the best defense in the country.
Arch Manning isn't very good. That's what it means.
All right, so we're both on Michigan plus 5.5 here. Give me another one, Rob. Any game that you want. Your choice.
Well, I scoured the fruited plain high and low. I really wanted to pull the trigger on Indiana, given 35.5, but that it's always the hook, right?
The hook, man.
Yeah. And that team they're playing, that Kennesaw State team, almost beat Wake Forest last week.
Now, Wake Forest stinks,
D1.
But go on.
They're D1, so I thought that's a lot. So here's what I'm doing. I'm staying in the Big Ten. I am going Illinois laying 2.5 at Duke. Here's why. You seen that coach for Illinois? He's an oddly shaped human. He's got like he's a well-fed fella, but he's kind of a weird-shaped stomach guy. I like him. I think he's a good coach, and I could be just a total homer because of the shape of his stomach, but they've also got a great quarterback. Luke Altmaier is the quarterback there. Illinois runs the ball very well. Now, Duke won last week, but they didn't do great against the run. I think Illinois can ground and pound. How much of his home field advantage is at Duke? Does anybody even go to the Duke football games?
No, I don't think they do. And I just want to make sure that we're right here because people are listening to this. They want to see, maybe we're thinking the same thing they're thinking for their bets. You're going with Illinois because you like Brett Bielema's beer belly.
Yeah, that's right. He's an oddly shaped fella.
Did you ever hear the rumor? And I don't know if this was ever confirmed or not. And this was years ago, before I think she was married and whatnot. There was an Aaron Andrews, Brett Bielema connection.
No way.
That was out there. Now,
No
I don't know if that was
way.
true or not. This was probably 15 years ago.
Wait. Now, look, I have a youngster at home, so I get that sometimes after you have kids, it takes up a lot of time. You're not in as good a shape as you once were. But, what did he look like, Brad Pitt? What has happened to this guy?
It gets old, man. You get old. I mean, it happens.
There's no way. I want that to be true, though.
I do, too. And if you go into Google right now and just type in Brett Bielema and Aaron Andrews, the AI overview, so take that for what you will, quote, there were rumors during Brett Bielema's time as Wisconsin head coach he was dating Aaron Andrews, which originated from the 2007 Capital One Bowl where she was the sideline reporter and he was the head coach, but the relationship was never confirmed.
Oh, man. What a winner in life that guy has proven to be.
Right. All right, so Rob is on the Fighting Brett Bielema's laying 2.5. I'm going to go to the SEC. Ole Miss at Kentucky. And Rob, I know this is one of your favorite terms that I like to throw out there. Kentucky is ass. Ass. They're not very good. The clock is ticking on Stoops. Ole Miss is a 10-point favorite going to Kroger Field. The over-under.
Wait, that's the name of their field is Kroger Field?
Oh, yeah, Kroger's huge in Kentucky. 51.5. Now, Jackson Dart's not running out of that tunnel. It's Austin Simmons now. And looked like he had some nerves right out of the gate against Georgia State last week. 2 early interceptions and a fumble. But then he kind of got it figured out and threw for 341 yards and 3 touchdowns. And this is a revenge game for Ole Miss. Think about how good they were a year ago. The reason they did not go to the SEC championship game, the reason they did not get in the playoff, they lost to Kentucky last year.
That's bad.
That's with Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Now, historically, double-digit favorites die at Kroger Field. They win, but they don't cover. That's the historical ramifications here. But I just can't see Lane Kiffin knowing what happened a year ago and how it screwed them out of a chance to go to the college football playoff. It wasn't even the Florida loss at the end of the year. It was the Kentucky loss that screwed Ole Miss. So Lane Kiffin, I don't like you. You don't like me. I'm happy to see you're back with your smoking hot ex-wife, Layla. You guys have gotten back together.
Did they get back together?
I like some Layla Kiffin a great deal. They have a son named Knox who was born in Knoxville, Tennessee. But, Lane, you and I are in this thing together. And if you're listening, jump on this right now because this line was 10.5 yesterday. You might not realize how big of a difference 10.5 and 10 is.
Yep.
10 can get you a push. 10.5 might as well be 13. And that's a big number. So get it right now. I'm seeing 10s multiple places, but at the time of this podcast on Tuesday afternoon, I want Ole Miss. I'm going to lay the 10. I know the Stoops brothers have a history of knowing what the spread is. It's one of the oldest urban legends in sports that Mark and Bob, the Stoops brothers, they always try to take care of the betting alumni. But, man, I think Ole Miss puts it on them on this one. I'm going to lay the 10 with the Rebels here. All right, going to take a little break. When we come back, we'll get our professional handicappers in the mix. David Stephanoff of Follow Never Fade and Kenny Britt of KB Sports. We will make them pick the Michigan and Oklahoma game and give some other plays as well. Don't go anywhere. We're rolling week 2 of the college football schedule. We are the Degenerates Next Door. It's overreaction week in the sports betting lexicon, week 2 of college football. I'm Jason Hammer, Rob Kendall with me. We are the Degenerates Next Door. And again, Rob and I, not professional handicappers, but we run with dudes that are, including Kenny Britt of KB Sports. Kenny, we said it earlier, there's a reason why those awesome resorts in Las Vegas have balconies and waterfalls and things like that, because the public took a beating this weekend. The sports books cleaned up.
Yeah, those are really nice places, aren't they?
Built with our
really
money.
Nice.
Built with our money.
That's right. I actually broke even for VIP. I went 5-5 on the weekend, which, didn't win money, but didn't get hurt. That's not bad with all the unknowns that we had this weekend. So I'm not happy that we didn't win money, but we didn't lose. So we'll take it and go on to the following week. But you're right. My dad told me that as a kid. There's a reason that those places are that nice, and they'll throw you a free drink every now and then, but
maybe
you paid for that too.
Maybe
you paid for that too.
Vegas is getting so damn cheap now. Vegas is so damn cheap that, like, if you bet $200, you're not guaranteed a drink ticket anymore.
Yeah, there's just so many states that's legalizing casinos and everything. It's you don't even need to go out there anymore. Me and you, we can drive 20 minutes and we've got a full casino. So
right. All right, man, let's get back on that horse this week. We've got the game of the week, which is Michigan down at Norman, taking on Oklahoma. Sooners are a 5.5-point favorite now, over under around 46.5.
Yeah, Jason, I've looked at this for a while, and I'm going to give a play on us, obviously, but I don't like the game right now. Neither team did much to impress me. Both quarterbacks did okay, but I think I'm going to go with Oklahoma team total under 26.5 on this game. Okay. It just, nothing sticks out to me right now on this game. So, Michigan's got a stout defense. It's going to be a big game. I think there's going to be a little bit more nerves in this game than last week. Last week, neither team really didn't play anybody. So I'm going to go with the team total of Oklahoma under 26.5 Saturday night.
I like that. I like the way you're thinking right there. All right, so we got you on the books for that. Now, you get carte blanche to pick any other game that you want. What are you looking at?
I've got a game I love. I've already sent it out to VIP clients this morning because I feel the line is going to go up. It might go up a couple points before Saturday. All right, Iowa State, Iowa. Iowa State, week 0. I know that's your favorite term. They went over to Ireland and beat a top 20 team. They were a little sloppy, but they beat a top 20 team. They came back home. They didn't have a week off. So that's a tough schedule. It's tough to do. And they beat South Dakota 55-7. Yes, it's South Dakota, but they did what they were supposed to do. They beat them, and they beat them easily. Iowa beat Albany 34-7. Iowa's starting quarterback against Albany went 8 for 15 for 44 yards. I'm going to say that again. Iowa's starting quarterback against Albany went 8 for 15 for 44 yards. I know Iowa's defense is, great. I know these games are typically close games. It should be a game that's played on Thanksgiving Day weekend. I think this year the discrepancy of talent is so huge. I think Iowa State's going to crush them. I look back the last 6 games. There was one game decided by 10 points. The other ones are decided by a field goal or 5 points. I don't think that's going to happen this year, Jason. I think the discrepancy of talent is so huge. I think Iowa State's going to crush them. I hope I don't get a text from our buddy Scott Long later today. But, I love Scott, but I love Iowa State. Right now the line is only 3 in most places. FanDuel still got it at 2.5. I'm afraid that's going to go up to 4 or more. So I went ahead and sent that out to my VIP guys this morning. But, man, Jason, I'm all over Iowa State. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know if you've looked at it yet. But, again, 8 for 15 for 44 yards against Albany.
Now, here's my counter to that. And I see what you're saying, and those numbers aren't great. And I look at Oklahoma. Oklahoma was outrushed last week in their game. But how much did they really need to show? That's the thing, right? They were both looking ahead. I know that Iowa's looking ahead. Oklahoma's looking ahead. It was a vanilla game plan, and both teams won. Both teams ultimately blew their opponent out, Illinois State, and then with Iowa last week. But, man, I don't know if you can take anything out of last week because it feels like it was a preseason game. You're not seeing the real offense. It's close to the vest, and let's not get anybody hurt so we can play the big boys next week.
Yeah, but I don't know if they've got an offense. I mean,
okay.
They've struggled. They've struggled offensively for years. I just think the discrepancy with Rocco as Iowa State's quarterback. You know, they put up 55 against South Dakota. They put up 24 against a pretty decent Kansas State team out in Ireland. I just think the discrepancy of talent this year is overwhelming, and I don't think Iowa's going to be able to play with them. I know Iowa's got a good defense. I know it's rivalry. I wish this game was played during Thanksgiving week, but I'm on Iowa State. I'm on them big.
All right, so we got Oklahoma's team total under 26.5, and we're going with the Fighting Roccos. We're going to lay the 3.
2.5 actually on FanDuel, Jason. So we're going to go that route.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 2.5 on FanDuel. Yeah.
Hey, shop around, baby. It's always Black Friday in the sports betting world. Shop around and find the best deal, find the best number.
And remember, we're doing this Tuesday, so that line is going to move quite a bit, I think.
Absolutely.
By Saturday.
Absolutely. All right, man. If somebody wants to become a VIP client of yours to get college football, NFL, horse racing, everything else, where can they go?
Yes, sir. Hey, I just wanted to mention to you, this is going to throw you off your game for just a second. Next month is NBA regular season. Do you believe that? Huh? I mean, here in Indiana, we got basketball until June this year, but next month is NBA regular season. I can't believe that. Yeah, I'm on Facebook, KB Sports. I've got a Twitter back up and running after being hacked, KB Sports Wins. And you can get all my information on my Facebook page, my Twitter page, KB Sports. And we've got NFL. We'll be back on Thursday with some plays on that. And it's a great time of the year, Jason. Great
it is,
time
man.
of the year.
You're so right about that. And you said something earlier that I think bears repeating. We're now doing these college football podcasts on Tuesday. So this is early in the week when the lines are still kind of fresh. You're right. These lines are going to change. So get into the habit of listening to this show on Tuesday afternoons instead of, say, Friday night, where the information, I promise you, is going to be much more fresh day of than it will be 24 hours before kickoff.
Absolutely. And this is an official pick. I'm going to throw something out there real quick, then I'll let you go, Jason. We talked about this on our text thread earlier. You talked about overreaction week. Keep an eye on the Army game. Kansas State hasn't played very well. Army's getting 17.5. I know they got beat. I don't know much about Tarleton State. You said they're not a bad team.
Tarleton's not bad, man.
Okay, I think Army's going to cover this 17.5. I think it's going to be a fairly close game this weekend. Keep an eye on it. I think that's when you talked about the overreaction week. There's going to be a lot of overreaction on lines. That might be one of them. Just keep an eye on that Army game for me this weekend.
You got it, brother.
They're getting a lot of points. We
will do this again next Tuesday.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later, buddy.
All right, that was Kenny Britt, pro handicapper from KB Sports. We go from one pro to another. The CEO, the big man on campus, the man behind FollowNeverFade.com, professional handicapper David Stephanoff. David, my man, how are you?
Good morning, Hammer. How's everybody doing? Shout out to the mayor of Brownsburg and Kenny Britt from KB Sports. Good week so far. We went 2-0 here on the podcast.
You did, man.
Let's keep it going this week. Let's keep it going.
Gave us 2 winners last week, and
I'm comfortable unders. uncomfortable unders. Nobody likes to take the unders. It's uncomfortable. But, hey, a wise man told me once, the smartest gambler I know, my father said, you bet a under. You're a winner from the beginning. So, hey, we's a winner.
There we go. All right, man. Game of the week this week. We always pick the game of the week. We don't shy away from it on this show like some other, sports betting shows do. We're picking the game of the week. If you're going to watch it, we want action. It's Oklahoma hosting Michigan. Michigan traveling down to Norman. The Sooners are a 5.5-point favorite. That number has jumped up quite a bit in the last 36 hours. The total sitting right around 46.5, David.
It's going to be a good one. We got the Michigan Portnoys going down to Oklahoma playing a team. It's going to be a tough defensive team. I think everybody's looking at this. It's going to be a defensive-minded game, Hammer. I haven't heard everybody's picks yet, but I think this is going to be a defensive-minded game. What's your take on it real quick, Hammer? What do you think?
I'm with you. I think it is going to be a slugfest. I think it is going to be a defensive game, but if that's the case, I want the team that's getting the points then. I think it's going to be close. I don't need Michigan to win. I need them to hang around. And I think with that running attack, they can hang around. With that defense, they can hang around. Again, I don't know what to make of this, but Illinois State outrushed Oklahoma last week. Maybe they weren't showing much. Maybe they were keeping things close to the vest. But if you're getting outrushed by Illinois State, what is Michigan going to do? And when you run the ball, you burn the clock. I want the points. That's why I'm on the Wolverines.
Okay, no, as our great guy from ESPN, Lee Corso, said, not so fast, my friend. Okay, Oklahoma, yes, was outrushed by Illinois State last week, but they were missing 2 starters on that offensive line. They knew this coming into the game. Oklahoma gave more sacks than anybody last year in FBS, but they went out. They secured their line. They got 2 starters back that didn't play last week for Illinois State. I like Oklahoma in this spot, just based on a couple of things. First off, you got the Michigan quarterback going on the road, freshman QB going on the road. They're going to be really conservative. That's what they do with the freshman quarterback. Oklahoma didn't play their best last week. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, they're missing a couple linemen. They didn't run the ball very well, but they did. In the second half, they made some adjustments and shut them out. The coach is a defensive-minded coach. Michigan's young quarterback on the road. And my favorite thing is here, when I lay the points with Oklahoma, they don't lose too many home games in the history of football. That's one thing they don't do. They last year they came in, they kept shut Texas down against the run, against the points. They kept a low-scoring game. They had a horrible quarterback last year. They upgraded the quarterback. They got a passer. They didn't show all their cards last week. That's for sure. If it's Illinois State. I think it's going to be a little different this week. I'm going to lay these 5 points with Oklahoma and a better quarterback, a little more experience. I don't know about coaching-wise. I don't know Brent Venables is still out on Brent Venables, but we know he's a defensive-minded guy.
Right.
I think everybody's spot on with his under. It's going to be a grind fest because I don't see Michigan airing it out. I see Oklahoma trying to establish. I want to keep Michigan off the field. I'm laying these 5 points. It's going to be Brent Venables' biggest win, and I'm just fading Michigan here. I just don't think they didn't look very good versus New Mexico, and you got a freshman quarterback going on the road against a tough place to play. I'm on the Oklahoma Sooners, Hammer, minus the 5.5.
Okay, so we are on opposite sides of that one. I look forward to the text thread this weekend. Now,
yes,
you get to pick any other game that you want. You've got the green light to find whatever you want. Is there a team you believe in? Is there a team you're fading? What do you got?
Okay, beginning of the year on our future podcast, our futures podcast, we talked about all the futures. My big one was Bowling Green under 6.5 wins. Now, last week they looked awesome versus University of Lafayette. Let me say it again. They looked great versus Lafayette. They couldn't even score a touchdown. I know they won the game, but they didn't score a touchdown. They didn't score a touchdown. They kicked a lot of field goals. Eddie George is the coach. Former Eddie George, the great running back for Ohio State and Tennessee Titan, is the coach of Bowling Green. I'm opposite here this week. I love Cincinnati. They're going to Cincinnati. I'm going to fade Bowling Green so we can take Cincinnati minus 21. We watched Cincinnati cover the spread versus Nebraska. Bad throw by the quarterback. He's way better quarterback than anybody gives him credit for against last week. They did not beat who they played Monday night. We was all against it, Cincinnati getting Nebraska. But I think they bounced back with a big win here. Bowling Green's not ready for this. They're a new team, a lot of new faces, a lot of new players. Eddie George. But I think it's come down. Cincinnati's going to put it on them. Cincinnati shouldn't have lost last week. They're going to bounce back. We're going to lay the 21 points and take Cincinnati over Bowling Green Falcons.
And I'm looking at Bowling Green last week. They did score one offensive touchdown. The other touchdown they got was on a special teams kick return to the house to open the game. But that was it.
Open the game, yes.
That was it against Lafayette. And again, this wasn't the Ragin' Cajuns of Louisiana Lafayette. This was ass Lafayette, and they still won that 26-7.
And Cincinnati's defense played awesome versus Nebraska. They played great. They played defense. Their defense was great, and they'll do the same thing this week. Plus, Cincinnati, people don't know, they're loaded with kids from local Indianapolis Warren Central High School. That's pipeline from Indianapolis goes to Cincinnati, and I just think they'll bounce back with a big W. They're going to run the score up on Bowling Green. Bowling Green's not going to have the output that Cincinnati can. We're going to lay the points. I don't think Bowling Green scored too many points here. We're going to lay the points with minus 21. Jump on it early because it might bump up.
As we've been saying all throughout the show, now that we're doing this podcast on Tuesday, I'm hoping anybody that's listening gets into the listening habit of listening to this program on Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, when the lines are still out that we're talking about, because it'll make a lot more sense than if you tried to listen to the show, an hour before the kickoff on Saturday.
Before the game, you're right.
Hey, man, if we want to become a client of yours, where can they go?
Hey, real quick, last we gave out Carlos Alcaraz to win the U.S. Open, baby. Go update on him. He's down to the final 8 after he wins this morning. This is being recorded. He played this afternoon here, Tuesday afternoon. After he wins today, he's minus 600. He'll be in the semifinals. I hope everybody follow me on this Carlos Alcaraz baby goat future to win the U.S. Open. But you can follow me everywhere: Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, every single day. VIP, sign up for my VIP right now. My VIP package. You sign up for my football package. You get baseball and you get tennis for the rest of your free. And if you follow me anywhere, you know that tennis is an absolute moneymaker. Baseball, we're about 70 games above 500. We're just grinding it out, trying to end the year on a great note. But you get all my plays everywhere. We're on Facebook, TikTok, like I said, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. Make sure you check out Instagram, people. My regular Instagram's out of this world. Instagram almost 80 games above 500. But hey, I'm not here to sell you plays. I'm here to make you guys money. Shout out to Jason Hammer for keeping this ship right, the captain of our ship, the mayor of Brownsburg, Rob Kendall, and my good friend Kenny Britt Sports. Let's keep it going. Let's have more winners today, this week, and don't forget to follow Never Fade.
All right, there you go. Our two professionals laying out their thoughts for some action this weekend. But we're not done. When we come back, Rob Kendall is going to get nuts. We got a little Ryder Cup to talk about, and I've got your Degenerates special. We won it last week. We'll see if we can do it again coming up next. Back on the Degenerates Next Door, I'm Jason Hammer. Rob Kendall is here. And Rob, listen, anybody can bet on Michigan and Oklahoma, right? Yes, it's the big game. That's fine. But the money you can make on Western Kentucky at Toledo spins the same. Crank up the band. Let's do a Degenerate special.
It's time for Hammer's Degenerate Special.
For the second time in just 3 weeks of play, Western Kentucky is involved in action on this program. Western Kentucky on the road at Toledo. Holy Toledo. Toledo is a 7-point home favorite. The over-under sitting right around 58.5 here. Western Kentucky upset Toledo last year. Western Kentucky can play. Now, Toledo, they're 0-1, but they had a little bit of a tougher game last week. They played an SEC school. Now, granted, it's Kentucky, and Kentucky is ass, and Toledo had a very good chance of winning that game, but they ultimately lost 24-16. But Toledo's got a quarterback that's not bad, but their defense is where they hang their hat on here. But let's not get it twisted. It's not like we're talking about the 85 Bears here, Rob. Toledo is one of the favorites to win the MAC, but that's like saying you're the valedictorian of summer school.
Yeah.
Is anybody scared of that? You know who is not scared of that? My guy.
Oh, no.
Western Kentucky quarterback Maverick McIver. I introduced you to Maverick a couple weeks ago during week 0, and he went out against Sam Houston, and he put on a clinic. It's the old run and shoot. Like Western Kentucky, they're bringing back the old school run and shoot. They're 2-0. And they beat Sam Houston in week 0. They beat the piss out of North Alabama 55-6 last week. Again, it's not an SEC school that they're playing. I get it. But, man, I like the way they throw the ball around the yard here. So, if I can catch a touchdown with the better quarterback, I think I'm going to take it. I think Toledo probably wins, but I don't know if they win by a touchdown. I don't need Maverick McIver, which is one of the great names in sports, to necessarily shock the world and pull the upset off. I need him to hang around. And I think that offense is good enough to either hang around or give me a backdoor cover. This week's Degenerate Special, Western Kentucky. We are going to take the points with the Hilltoppers taking on Toledo. My man, Maverick McIver.
You do this all the time, Hammer. You fall in love with these guys, and then they become a part of your life.
The next 7 days of my existence are going to depend on what Maverick McIver does at Toledo. I'm a father. I'm married. I've got 2 kids at home, but yet my sole attention right now was on Maverick McIver. Right?
I saw a meme and I thought of you because it's like some guy's got a knife and the other guy is like got his hands up over his face like he's about to be stabbed with the knife. And the guy with the knife was labeled as 18 to 22-year-old college kids. And the guy with his hands up was my mental well-being.
That's it. That's where I'm at right now. Western Kentucky, let's go Hilltoppers. I'll take those 7 points. All right. My question to you, Rob. Are you ready to get nuts?
All right. Want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts! Now you want to get nuts? Come on! Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts. What are you looking at?
Well, it is our Ryder Cup month. For those of you who don't know, this is like the Olympics of golf. Every 2 years, the USA plays Europe. It is quickly next to probably the Masters and the U.S. Open, the biggest event in all of golf. And last week we told you could get Scotty Scheffler, the number 1 player in the world, to be the top scorer on the American team at plus 430. You should have listened. That line has moved down to plus 290.
You're costing yourself money by not listening.
And yesterday, Europe picked their team, and I believe that John Rahm at plus 400 is great odds to be the top scorer on the American team or the European team. He has the look of a serial killer. He's very angry. He might snap a club. He might snap an opponent. He's probably also the best player next to McIlroy on Europe's team. So right now, you can act, you can hop, you can get John Rahm at the end of September to be the top scorer for Team Europe at plus 400.
All right. Want to get nuts? Come on.
Let's get nuts! Now you want to get nuts? Come on! Let's get nuts.
All right, baby, let's recap the board here. I am on Michigan with the points. I think it's a ground and pound type game. Clock will turn. That's always a good thing for somebody that's betting on a team that runs the ball and they're getting points. I'll take Michigan plus 5.5. I am also on Ole Miss revenge spot at Kentucky. I will lay 10 points. I would jump on that right now before it goes to 10.5. And the Degenerate Special. It's not an official play. We don't count that in the big standings. But I do love me some Maverick McIver. Give me Western Kentucky. I'll take the touchdown, Rob. Who you got?
All right, I'm joining Hammer. Michigan getting the 5.5. You always got to go with the known cheaters, especially if they're getting points. And I like Illinois' coach and his oddly shaped stomach laying 2.5 at Duke. What sort of home field advantage does Duke actually have? And then for our Let's Get Nuts, John Rahm, top scorer for Europe. You can get that right now at plus 400 in the Ryder Cup.
Kenny Britt, professional handicapper of KB Sports. He's on the under team total, 26.5 on Oklahoma. So Oklahoma's team total over-under is set at 26.5. KB's on the under, and he's got Iowa State -3 against the Hawkeyes. David Stephanoff, follow never fade. He was perfect on this show last week. He's going against us, Rob. He's got Oklahoma laying 5.5 and the Cincinnati Bearcats minus 21, laying 3 touchdowns against Bowling Green.
Well, as Rush Limbaugh famously said about Barack Obama, I hope you fail, David.
For Rob Kendall, for Kenny Britt, for David Stephanoff, I'm Jason Hammer. Good luck, everybody. We will talk to you on Thursday for the NFL program. Until then, may the odds be ever in your favor.